Okie dokie nerds, I'm going to play a Squee League today. It is the 6th of August. I overslept and missed the challenge on the Sunday morning, so this is probably what I would have played. I was between Squee or Cradlevine today. I think we're struggling a bit in the metagame, or have been recently. But this is what I would have gone with. I wanted to try 3 Furies in the main deck. It's good against all these bug decks that are running around. It's good against Hull Breacher, it's good against Bowmasters, and it's the nuts against Mono White. I tried Pyrokinesis recently. I really struggled with that against against Mono White. Obviously, it's good, but if they have like a normal curve or something, let's say a turn 1 Thalia into turn 2 Archon, Fury can blink both of those. Pyrokinesis, you need to find one of your wastelands to then pay for it through the Thalia attacks. So I found it to be slightly worse, even if it is slightly better against the flash effects of Bowmasters and Hull Breacher. Continuing with 3 Force of Vigour, whilst Mishra's Workshop isn't a major part of the metagame, or at least Mishra's Workshop with Prison Elements isn't a major part of the metagame. And then the third Fury, which is 1-1 they usually play, we've trimmed a Trap. Trap I'm not convinced about. Anyway, I rarely am. When the metagame was like Squee, Duel, Doomsday, Trap was great. That's changing. I'm really considering just cutting this one from the deck anyway. And the only other way I'd consider building my sideboard would be -1 Fury, -1 Mindbreak Trap, and then adding in. I've been considering 2 Endurance because the Doomsday pilots are pretty switched on, so they never trigger Mindbreak Trap, or rarely trigger Mindbreak Trap unless you force them to, with pressure. But obviously the games can play out in different ways. So yeah, I've been finding that I'm dying to Doomsday with multiple Mindbreak Traps in hand because they're able to set up the game in such a way that they never turn it on. So I was thinking I might want something different, like an Endurance. Maybe that would be good. It'd be another little bit of hate against Dredge if we needed it, especially seeing as to make space for a lot of these things we are trimming a Surgical. But we've got an opponent, so let's go and see what they've got to say for themselves. This has no Bazaar of Baghdad, so we're going to send it back. This also has no Bazaar of Baghdad, so we're going to send it back. And we're going to keep doing this until we find something. We've gone to 4. I'll keep a Vigor, I'll keep a Squee, I'll keep a Misstep. Vigor, Squee, and Threats, I guess, is good. Oh well. That's fine. Right, cool. So we'll keep this completely unprotected on the play, on the draw even, from them on the play. But we've got Bazaar, we've got the opportunity to put a clock into play. They're going to have a look at our hand. And now they've got an Urza's Saga. Okay, so typically a very difficult deck card for us to beat. Sensei's Divining Top, so it's going to be one of these Breacher Ring decks. Emerald is not a Sapphire. Okay, we could just be dying. Okay, so that was quite an effective turn 1, you could say. Blazing Roller. So we're going to attack for 4, and we're going to pray for something good to peel off the top here. That's close, isn't it? So this looks to be a spot where we can really try and make our money. Good grief. So obviously we've got a very easy line where we can discard the 3 creatures and attack for 4. But then we pass the turn to the Urza Saga player who's got 4 artifacts in play and we immediately die. So that seems bad, right? There is a Saga puts out 2 creatures we can never beat. We've got no card advantage engine, so it looks like next turn it's going to be difficult to activate Bazaar of Baghdad profitably. So what I think I'm going to do is discard Force of Will, Vengevine, Red Lizard, have Mind Break Trap, Vigor, Green Lizard in hand, go to their turn, and we're going to attack the Urza's Saga, and we're going to attack a Mana Source. A Mana Source or a Manifold Key? That's a question. A Mana Source. Yeah, I think I like going after their permanents because we're so far behind. Like, the permanents we can put into play don't stabilise us or put us ahead. So it's definitely going to be Force of Will, Vengevine, Blazing. And now we'll pass the turn. We're 100% hitting Saga, it's just which of the other 4 do we go after? Clearly not the top, because it will just leave play. Okay, and they're doing this end step, which is fine. I think I'm just going to hit the Manifold Key. I think that's the card that's too threatening. If they've got a Force of Will, then congratulations to them. No, they don't. So we're still not ahead. We're still not doing particularly well. They've got 5 cards in hand, but we've overcome the beginning. They clearly don't have a Hull Breacher, which is nice. They could have a Bowmasters, which is not nice, but let's see what we draw. With Force of Negation. Yeah, I think I'm just going to get in for 1. Trade off a couple more cards, and then we can get to spinning once we've depleted a few resources of theirs. I don't know if this line is particularly good against the top. But the absence of any sort of card advantage from our spins means that we're just discarding equity for no reason. Shieldred is a real fucking dick. So we do need to come up with something. Good grief. Like attack for 2, draw Fury. I think I hold. See where we get to next turn. So we're going to get 1 to 2 more activations out of this Bazaar. And we need to set up some way of pushing through, which seems impossible actually. But let's see what we can do. Pitting Needle, cool, we lose. Let's draw some cards. Fury. Yeah, that's really annoying. Never mind. Okay, so we want this one, which is to protect against the ley lines, Caracas, and Snapback for the Shieldreds. We can trim 1 Fury, we can bring in a Cradle. Noxious doesn't do a lot. Force of Negation can get trimmed, and then I think we can trim 1 more thing. Chalice is good on the play. Fury's good against Hull Breacher and Bowman, which they're probably playing. I don't know. I don't like aggressively cutting all the noxious. I think maybe just a red lizard can bounce one out. Or maybe it should be a green lizard just because we're so heavy on green at the moment. Yeah, let's get rid of a green lizard. Because then we're 13, 13 and 10. This is actually 17. This is actually false because Squee inflates that count. We've only got 2. So yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, when your opponents are bringing main deck Shieldred, it can be a bit nasty. To be honest, Hull Breach is worse for us. It's just that Needle which really buried us there. I'm going to keep that one. I'm going to keep the Fury because we need the interaction. Powder away those cards. It's one of those days apparently. So we'll keep this. What am I on? 5. And we'll bottom Powder Fury, I guess. Or Powder Vengevine. No, Powder Fury. So no Leyline. I should probably have activated actually. Never mind, we'll activate later. We know what we're looking for. Like, there's an argument there where I can activate and find 2 cards which bring back a Vengevine, and then I'm off to the races. Mox Sapphire, okay. Okay, so I've got to respond to that one. Let me discard one of the Bazaars. Mana Crypt's okay. Dak Faden. I should have forced a Vigor in response, that was really bad. Yeah, that was supposed to be Force of Vigor, your Crypt, and your Sapphire in response. And then Mindbreak trap the protection. So spin this. Interaction, draw a Squee. Or a Powder, yeah, just as good. Yeah, so that's just a missed sequence where we could have gone after the mana and then also got like a Force of Will or a Flusterstorm out of them whilst taking out the deck. No, set. Okay. Now set reveals Manifold Key. Now set goes to 2. Play a key. And pass. Oh, now set's going down, that's exciting. They find a Time Vault. So how do we deal with this? What happens if we activate here? If we activate here, we go to 1 card. Whereas if we activate after our draw step, we'll go to 2 cards and we can have Force Blue up. Ancestral Recall on yourself. So that's a real problem for us, but we can't fight it. Otherwise we're dead to the Time Vault. That's Force Blue. The activation is now free because we're just discarding what we draw. And the reason to do that is just to try and push clock into play, try and get some squeeze online. We're dead to everything at the moment. Their hand has a Time Vault, they have a Manifold Key in play. That's a Mox Jet. And a pass of the turn. So now they're just holding up Hull Breacher for us that we have to fight as well. So there's no point in attacking if they've got Hull Breacher. There's also no point in activating. What's the Orcish Bowmaster? Sure. Seems fine. Pithing Needle. Good God. Yeah, cool. I think we're just dead. Yeah. There's nothing we're going to get out of here. Too much hate. And that's one of the difficult things we've had evolve recently, is that, you know, in the last couple of years, the addition of Hull Breacher, followed by Shieldred, followed by Orcish Bowmasters, means that every creature in Vintage just punishes you for being a Bazaar deck at the mo. Right, round 2 after that fairly standard loss to the blue Hull Breacher decks. This is all my concerns about Squee at the moment, is we don't really have the resources to battle the amount of hate that they have. Like that game 1 hand, main deck, Needle, blah blah blah. But here we've got some fruity stuff to work with. We've got a lot of Squeeze. Got a Noxious as a second Bazaar. Got some Furies. Yeah, this looks good. This looks good. I mean, like Wasteland Force of Will sort of kills us, but that's fine. It's fine. That's something I'm happy with. Flooded Strand. Okay, so opponent's got Ancestral, because otherwise there's very little reason to aggressively expose yourself to Wasteland on turn 1. Opponent does not have Ancestral. Does not have Ancestral yet. So we'll discard. Master on 2 Squeeze, I guess. Yeah, that gets me down to 7. Cool. So we're a bit Squee flooded. Brainstorm. Okay, I think I'll let that go. The timing on some of these fetch lands has been intriguing to me. Squee, and then one master can go because then I'll still have double blue card. I'll still have a green card if I want to vigor. Roll out this chalice on 0. That means I have to discard one of the Furies, which I think is fine because we're probably against Doomsday here, where they're not really going to have much. Force of Vigor is not doing a lot of work either, unless they are on a Necropotence. But yeah, it's going to be Powder and Fury going to the yard. And at some point, we'll draw some threats. So, Mystical Tutor. I can't do anything about that. Doomsday goes on top. That's fine. Powder and Fury go to the yard. Polluted Delta. So we clearly are going to fight the Doomsday in this spot, I think. I expect them to have multiple permission spells to protect it, and then we're going to hope that our Noxious Revival can... Okay. Ignore everything I was going to say. 3 mana Doomsday and having drawn no permission is quite exciting for us. Did I not register creatures today or something? There's one. I think I can discard a Master of Death. Yeah, I mean, I'll put 2 creatures into play. Will I? Maybe I'll just put a 1/1 into play. No, I'll put 2 into play. It's just that whole thing of like, how dead is my Fury, you know? Sure. It couldn't matter less. Like, I'm pretty sure my Fury's dead, but there's also the element of how many people are just going to run around with like an Orcish Bowmaster or something at the moment just because they can. Like, yeah, I have black producing lands. Here's my Orcish Bowmaster sort of thing. I just don't see the need of putting myself in a spot when I've otherwise likely got decent control over this game. So, Squee, green guy. I'm just doing 1 creature here. I'm going to find some Vengevines. There's no Vengevines there, but that one. Right, I'm going to declare Fury dead. Yeah, now that I've got threats. So we're going to be passing with double blue force and green force Noxious open. Let's go to combat first. One, two, three, four. Hardcast Gush. Hilarious. Yeah, I don't think I care. Days? Force of Will. Okay. Exciting Thassa's Oracle. We're down to 2 cards. Another one. That gets 3. So they've got 2 cards in hand. I've got 2 forces in hand. And I win. So that's one of those ones though where, you know, if our opponent just has one single piece of interaction there, I think we're in a really bad spot. But never mind. We're going to bring in the Mind Break Trap. We're going to bring in... Oh no, actually... Someone was saying the other day, what if you just drop the Vigors post board? We'll have Caracas, we'll have Trap. I like Cradle. So then you go max. Oh, I've got Triple Fury in my deck, that should change. Let's bring in the 2 snapbacks just in case of Shield Drill or something like that. And then we'll have 1 Surgical for the memes. So that way, you know, okay, your Vengevines and Squeeze are dead, but you can just win through Hollow Ones and Lizards with max blue available. So we'll give this a go. I can't remember who it was that was saying this is a potential line. This is a potential hand which gets absolutely browned by Leyline, but we're priced into keeping it. They begin the game with 7, there's a Leyline. Okay, so the idea behind this sideboarding strategy is that we can... Okay, they've kept no land, just Leyline, so we'll get maximally punished for the way we've sideboarded. Oh no, we've decided to post-combat play a land. No, preordain, okay. So our Vengevines are never coming back, so they're really easy discards. So now we discard these 3 and play a hollow one. I should have discarded a Lizard, I was just too excited about drawing a hollow one. I'm always really tempted in this spot just to Noxious Revival the Street Wraith, but we can't. And as I think I've said before, I'm not big into fighting the hollow ones. Maybe I should be actually in this spot if this was a Force of Will. But I like keeping our interaction for their proactivity rather than protecting my threats. I always think we're a favourite in a longer game, but now that I've tried out this sideboarding strategy where we come off of Vigors, so we don't fight the leyline battle, we just try and put the guys into play. Maybe that's something I need to reevaluate, is how excited I am about my hollow ones. Obviously I should have a Lizard in play, but I am big and stupid, so that's fun. What do we get out of them this turn then? 1, 2, Gush. I will counter this Gush. Oh, it's a DT. I will counter this DT. Yeah, fine. I thought it was going to be black, black, Gush. Oh, no, you can't do that. It's turn 2. I am silly. Cool. Discard a Rootwaller. Discard a Master of Death. And a Noxious Revival. We'll cast that. We'll play Caracas, and then we'll cast Hollow One so we can pay for days. There we go. So we can pay for days, we can pay for Tabernacle on our Hollow One. We've got a Mindbreak Trap to protect ourselves. And then we can take a few natural draw steps whilst we beat them for 5. Gross. That is not what I was interested in seeing. Tabernacle at Pendule Vale's fine. So we keep the Hollow One around. We say goodbye to our good little boy. And we declare that a clock has been presented. Brainstorm. I mean, this is how they win them, right? I'm not sure about this sideboarding strategy of ignoring the fact that Leyline exists. This is just then we're putting ourselves really low on resources. In this mid-game point here, where I've developed a board and they've got 5 cards in hand and have to play around one piece of permission, and it's the easiest piece of permission for them to play around, in this specific spot at least. Whereas if I had the Vigors, maybe we could have had a little fight earlier. Like this Noxious could have been a Vigor. Who knows? So blue. It's going to be a dig through time, I guess. So they dig, which is really bad for us. I can't flash in this Root Waller to half their life total. Dark Ritual, and then I will trap the Doomsday. And if they've got permission, which I expect them to, then congratulations. They don't. Okay. And then this turn we're going to be activating the Bazaar on our main phase, because we want to just find a strip mine, I think. Could just get them off Hardcast Doomsday. I'll try to avoid, that might be very good. Let's get my 4. Do I want to strip an Underground Seal? Do I want to? I guess I've now got to strip a Tabernacle, right? I really wanted to strip an underground to see it sorcery speed, but the fact that this is lethal probably means I've got to be on doing the Tabernacle on end step. Probe me going to 4. Okay. And we win the match. Nice. That was a very fortuitous activation at the end where we get lethal threat plus strip mine, and then very lucky that they've not got anything left. They drew the Nutlow permission though that game, or that round at least, right? Like the 2 times they put Doomsday on the stack, I just countered it and they didn't fight back. But yeah, see you for round. Okay, round 3, we're up against Cyberpunker, who I think is a bit of an Oather. I think they play some Oath of Druids. We've got a very good hand on 7 though. A very good hand on 7. So Powder, Vengevine, Squee can go to the old graveyard. We'll cast a Chalice on 0. And we'll pass the turn. I imagine we're going to get Wastelanded in good order here. And then we have to ask ourselves the question of, is it better to push now, or is it better to push with the Revival now, or is it better to wait until we draw a blue card and then go through that whole thing? And yeah, if I draw a blue card exactly now, then great. If I draw a blue card in 3 turns time, then it's probably not good enough. But they don't have a Wasteland, so that's cool. I do have a Wasteland, but do they play Urza's Saga? I can't remember. So let's say yes to the Goblin. No blue cards, forever unlucky. I'm just going to waste them. Restrict mana whilst we can. And then they vamp. Okay. I don't want to put vamp on top of my deck. A big question. I don't think so. Vamp on top of their deck, sorry. I don't think so, because we just want to beat Wasteland. Okay, they've gone and got themselves a Misty. I wouldn't be surprised if that was their vamp target, or maybe they vamped for Ancestral because they had the Misty rolled up. Yeah, doesn't look like it. Strip mine. Okay. Let's go again. Oi, oi, oi. Squee. I don't want to discard this negation. At some point, I don't know if you guys know, but I did register other blue cards rather than the singleton negation. I'm like 100% convinced they're on an Oath deck, so I don't want to discard the Vigor. I know they play a number of Wastelands, so I don't really want to discard the Revivals. I also like the fact that I've got, like, I don't know what to do. I think I'm going to discard 1 Noxious, 1 Waste, 1 Squee, and then the question. So say we discard Noxious, Squee, Wasteland. We maintain a Vigor. We maintain a Noxious, and we keep a Stone Rain. Do we play Hollow One, or do we hold Hollow One? I think we play Hollow One. So let's do this. Let's cast a Hollow One. Let's go to second main before we play the Strip Mine. Didn't get anything out of them. And now they play nothing. Nice, 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 nice. Oh no, not nice. Okay, cool. But they can't put artifacts into play because Chalice is busted. So we get Squee. And a Mind Break Trap. Fantastic. Okay, so let's attack for 4. And we can do some end step activating now. Holding the Squee. Holding these two. Because I'm just discarding whatever I draw, right? I don't gain much. So we may as well wait until we can decide whether we need something better than what we've got. But this might plop a few lizards into play. It might make some more squeeze. Yeah, a negation has to go, unfortunately. But now we're in a tremendous spot. We've got double force plus vigor. We've got vigor force trap. And we're just going to slowly grind them down. Very hard for them to resolve an oath. Show and tell a bit more difficult for us to deal with. We would get to Surveil 2 if they resolve a show and tell. That's not even true, that would already be exiled. Okay, they're going for something. Misty Rainforest fetches Basic Island and makes a Manifold Key. It's like, I can fight this and just put them on 0 manas. Right, like surely that's fun. Surely that's great. Or I can just press OK and fight things later. Strip mine the island. Upkeep with Vigor Key. They've got no mana. They've conceded. Yeah. That went well. The strip mine is doing a lot of heavy lifting for us. So now we want the snapbacks for when they resolve an Atraxa. And we then have outs despite being dead. Not sure where I feel. I'll stand on Mind Break Trap. Cradle for tab. Trim the Furies. So this kills an Oath and a Ley Line. These 3 bounce things. This activates Tabernacle. They do play Wasteland. Red Lizard can be trimmed. And Squee can be trimmed, I guess. Actually, yeah. We didn't see a Saga here, but maybe they do have them. And if they do have them, maybe we wanted Ghost Quarter over Cradle. But never mind. Red lizards are worse than green lizards. so we keep green lizards in our deck. Not giving a Ghost Quarter, and it wouldn't have changed our decision, so we'll keep this, we'll discard Wasteland, and we'll discard Venge Visual. Leyline of the Void. Okay. There's a Saga. Bang. My go. Urza's Saga again. Into a Manifold Key. Sure, I think that's fine. I need to go and find a Wasteland. Or we die. Do I want to activate here? I think so. Gross. We did that bit. So I know I could have had negation blue up here, but that gave me more outs. Holding these two gave me more outs for getting rid of the Saga and Manifold Key. So maybe there's an argument where I just have to go up on the Vigor and hope I'm drawing exactly Wasteland in that spot, but I don't think that's very good. Yeah, holding Vigor Trap means I can top deck any Wasteland effect and any green card to fight that. I don't think I will activate, I think I'll hold. And we'll continue to hold. They've not shown any resistance to us yet, so Sensei's Divining Top, how do I feel about that? I really don't like that card being in play. Because then they draw everything they want ever. But then that sends me down to one card. I think I'll let them have it. Probably an Orchard, sure. And then we'll take one more regular draw step before we start activating in Desperation. Bizarre Baghdad. I certainly don't need that. Do I want to put Hollow into play just yet? Or is that a bit early? Going down to just Force of Negation. I could hold up Negation Trap. Try and win the battle over something. Then I need to kill them at some point, so I'm going to discard a trap. And now I'm going to cast a Hollow one, which we won't fight over. And then try and do the same as last game. Leverage the Hollow one from 20 to 0. This is an interesting activation, right? Like, we've just taken a whole turn off the clock. Or they've just got the Tabernacle rolled up, or the Oath with so much protection that they don't care. Or they just feel that they have to, because they're so far behind. I don't think we can really glean much from it, but it is an interesting... Is a peek at the top 3 really worth that much? Well, here's another activation, okay. So that sounds like it's good for us. Tabernacle rolled up, okay, fine. Now we go back to needing a Squee. Which we've been struggling to find so far this game. Snapback. Okay, we did exile 2 Squees earlier. I don't know if we boarded one out. Yeah. So we're down to 5 Squees in our deck, which is fine. They've got 3 cards, we've got 3 cards, but they do have an active top, which is bad for us. So, Forbidden Orchard now doesn't do anything. It probably didn't do anything before. Oh, they're picking activate. Oh, I see. Yeah, they've got the thing. I forgot about the thing. I can't imagine I'm ever supposed to be fighting the top on the way back down though. Like, that's proper aggro. Proper aggro. Sensei's top, sure. Pass the turn, cool. And they're just going to construct the world's best hand whilst we slowly dwindle and die. Right, end step I'll probably go and find some sort of Squee effect and put a Root Water into play. Or maybe I'll just wait one more turn actually, because I forgot about the Tabernacle when I said that. Looks with top, double draws with top. So they get their extra card. Knocks Ruby. So 3 mana, is this going to be the show and tell at last? Leyline of the Void. Funny. Am I supposed to fight that? I guess so. Now they come and get all aggro with a Flusterstorm. Now my hand is gone, my creatures are dead. Yada yada yada. No. Stop asking me so many times. Force of Vigor. Okay. We'll hold that, I think. Dead to show and tell. Dead to DT for show and tell. But this could be DT for Time Vault, and then we vigor the 2 things, so we'll let them do it. So Time Vault activates a Forbidden Orchard, and then vigor these 2. So that gets through. End step will activate in the Eternal Hunt for a Squee. They've got 1 card and a active top. They've got more mana than anyone could ever need. Actually, that's not even true. One more mana and they can cast an Atraxa. There's a Master of Death, that's exciting. And then Blazing Root Water. Yeah, let's activate. I mean, I might just be able to burn them for 8 here. If I draw another lizard. I do not. We know I'm on empty, so it's fine. Is this it? Is it happening? 5 mana. Bolas's Citadel, hard cast at 19 life. That's not cool. With a top as well. Okay, we're just dead. We're just gonna die. And then they vamp for something. In all. Did you just vamp for Atraxa? Yogmoth's okay, cool. We die. They've got Time Vault Key. That's cool. That was a good game. Like, the Tabernacle really got us, but we also managed to, you know, stay in the game for quite a while without any active squeeze. I think one more Red Lizard can go, and one more Ghost Quarter can come in. I did miss the Squee there, but I think maybe I can trim Noxious for a Squee. Maybe I can trim Noxious for a Squee. And the thing is with this matchup is you need to be careful as to when you're creating creatures. Typically we'll powder that. Bizarre, Hollow One, Force, cool, with a Cradle behind. So we'll keep this. Typically the lizards aren't going to get there if you're getting in for 2 each turn. Laying on the Void is fine, I think. Okay. Play a Bizarre, activate Bizarre. So we'll get rid of some cards. Is it the 3 lands? I don't like getting rid of the 3 lands because I want to be able to play around. Maybe it's just Noxious. I can draw more green cards. Noxious, Wasteland, Cradle. Cast a Hollow One. Now I've got Force of Will, Caracas, and potentially a Vigor. Underground Sea comes into play. Okay. Green card is exquisite there. And I'm not fighting this late line at this point. We're fighting Oath of Druids. We're not fighting Vampiric Tutor. Tinker. Tinker gets through. So yeah, so now we're going to bink everything, right? This can die and this can die. This can get activated. Vengevine Wasteland. Untap. Spin again. Negation Strip Mine. I would have loved either of those Wastelands. Now I draw the Squee. And now we get him for 4. Alright, everything is dead and their payoff is a legend. So we've got to be in a spot that's at least favourable. Tabernacle, sure. Manifold Key. Just stop already. 2 cards in hand versus our 1. We're paying for the hollow one. Not even a close decision. Draw step. Find me a Wasteland. Snapback. Okay, snapback's good. So we can bounce Atraxas and attack. We go to 6. Sweaty game. What's the Cyberpunker got behind? Forbidden Orchard. No Oath of Druids. No Oath of Druids, no Time Vault. Force of Will. What a draw. Alright, do you have Time Vault with protection? There we go, that's the question. Do you have Time Vault with protection behind? I can't get up to Mindbreak Trap, I can't get up to Vigor, and then we win. Wow, what a game. That was cool. Always sweaty against the Oath of Druids decks. I didn't look up their list, maybe I could have, but one thing is that I think I maintained all the... So yeah, so I only trimmed 1 Noxious, I could have done more if I know that they're not on Wasteland. The presence of Saga reduces the amount of Wastelands they can have. But then they can still have like Boseijus and Strip Mines post board, so I don't hate it. Yeah, good games. Okay, nerds. Round 4 against Emrakul. We're on the play again, which is pretty nice. We've got a Bazaar, got some Vigors, got some Squees, got some Hollow Ones. Nice, and a cheeky little Lizard. Nice. I don't know the Emrakul player by name. I try not to look people up in leagues. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Vengevine? 1 time? Aw, how unlucky. So we'll discard Lizard, Master, Fury. Was that good? Lizard, Master, Fury. If they're on mono white, we get maximally punished. But nah, I think it's got to be. It's got to be so that we can maintain double force. So that's my Lizard. That's my Hollow One. Talk to me about your deck strategy. I would like to see what you play. Oh, they play a Force of Will deck. Force of Will exiling Preordain. So my initial take on that is Doomsday. At which point these Vigors aren't going to be too exciting. Okay. Get to action. Do we want to stake our whole life on how good these Vigors are? Because they can be really good if we're against Oath. They're really dead if we're against Doomsday. So that gets through. So now we're just going to find ourselves a Wasteland and win the game. There we go. I will discard the 2 Masters this turn. Wasteland you. Don't really want to yield all the way through their turn. Yeah, cool, so it's Doomsday. And we just need to not die here and then find a clock. Basically. So we're not dying. So that's exciting. Ponder, okay. Clock or permission spells, please. That's what I ask for. Chooses not to shuffle. Lotus. What a draw. Lotus Doomsday. Oh, Necro. Wow. Okay, so that's interesting. How much do you Necro for in this spot? There are 2 cards. I don't have a Vengevine to see. So Necro for 7 apparently is the number. Oh, 8. Exciting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, Necro for 8. And Force of Vigor is like famously bad against Necro, right? Maybe not famously, but it is bad against Necro. So they got 9 cards to kill us with. Discards 3 on end step, and that's Preordained Portent, Misty Rainforest. So show me my strip mine, please. So Force of Negation, that's a very good draw. So I'm going to pitch Vigor, Fury, Powder. And do I gain anything from spinning again? Not really. I can't find and make a Vengevine this turn, so we may as well just hold that untapped. You get a 5, 7 cards in hand. Dark Ritual is fine. Doomsday is not fine. Fluster Storm does the job, so now they need exactly Gush to get into their pile. So yeah, they needed to Necro into the Gush as well. They've made their land drop. Or maybe like, yeah, Sapphire Preordain would work. I still need a threat because I'm only putting them to 1 next turn. So I wonder what this pile looks like. We get, what, like 7 draws at... If it's a pass the turn pile, we get 7 draws at Vengevine. With 2 creatures on the way. Kind of tough, but... Kinda tough. So go to 2. Gush is in exile, which makes me think it's past the turn time. 1 Thassa's Oracle. Looks like infinite Flusterstorms. There's a lot of Force of Wills missing actually, which they can't cast. There's 2 Force of Wills missing, which they're unable to cast, which is quite cool. Misstep's gone. No evidence of dazes, but I can't play around them anyway, so who cares? 1, 2, 3, 4 Street Wraiths in the exile pile. So yeah. So they need to have a cantrip in hand because they can't get to their card using Necro. I'm going to spin. And that's a lizard. So that's a pretty good start. And then they've conceded to that. Nice. Close one. So, let's try that again. Cut all the Vigors, cut all the Furies. Max blue. Caracas for Shieldred. Cradle for Tabernacle. Ghost Quarter for lands. Oh, Ghost Quarter for lands is so crap. Let's have a... Okay, I think that looks fine. So this is just interesting because this was just someone in Modo chat asking me what I thought about cutting all the Vigors post-boarding its Doomsday so that you don't care so much about the ley lines. I haven't made up my mind how I feel about it yet, but it's worth trying. We go low. So I guess I'm supposed to keep lizards then, in that case. All my lizards are at the bottom. Very good. So we'll keep. No ley line. No ley line means we've won the sideboarding. So that's good. I don't know where other people stand on the Ghost Quarter, because I don't like bringing Ghost Quarter in every match. I think it's really bad. I like Ghost Quarter for the matchups where we're expecting Urza Saga and Tabernacle, maybe some other lands as well. But oh, this is a spicy start. So we'll discard. I'm going to discard a Bazaar and 1 Noxious. And the hope here is that next turn we get another Bazaar activation and we find a creature. Noxious I'm keeping because it's interaction against their Doomsday pile. And that's going to make their Doomsday pile a little bit more awkward as well. Not impossible, but just a bit more awkward. And then maybe next turn I can find something like Cradle, if that's still there. Yeah, Cradle Lizard would be nice. Another Ponder. Yeah, just something to insulate against Tabernacle. Whilst bringing back my Vengevine is like on my wish list for next turn. If I can get really greedy, I'd like a blue card. But I would take any combination. Chooses not to shuffle off their ponder. We find a blue card. I think I'm still going to spin. We'll just play some blue cards. Double interaction is good. Chalice is probably doing a lot of work at the moment as well. We're going to be trying to keep all this interaction, maybe developing a bit more if it's possible. Unfortunate, well, not about not bringing back the Vengevine. But I don't really want to go down too low. So now I can force this, trap the Fluster. Okay, so they've got Doomsday with more protection than God. We're going to have a nice little upkeep spin. Oh, Mystical Defeat, cute. Yeah, upkeep spin, top deck Wasteland. Like Lizard, Wasteland, that would be dope. That would be a nice little pile of cards to be on top of our deck. Very unlikely, but we do get to see their sideboarding. So everything we've seen so far was main deck. And this is one of those bits where, like, I know there's a lot of different ways I could have done my discards over those two activations, but I feel like when the battle's over and you're hellbent, I feel like you kind of stacked them correctly. Because it meant you play, like, at least played around everything that they, you know, I played for Doomsday, countering Doomsday and protecting it in the best way I could. But yeah. So they have got 0 ley lines in their deck, which is interesting. They've got 1 Tabernacle there, a Snuff Out and a Cut Down. I don't think I've ever seen Cut Down in against me, but that's fine. Tabernacle, sure. Yeah, I still spin upkeep. It's a lizard. A little lizard, which we will cast. Not the 2 lizards that I asked for though, which is a shame. Well, could be. Nope. I wanted that Wasteland. So I assume they've stacked a pile that kills us here. Like Ancestral into land, Thoracle. Right, that's really easy. Underground Sea. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they've got. Okay, Time Walk. Gosh. That's the Oracle. Very good, well done. So, going to game 3. They've got no ley lines in their sideboarding. that's quite exciting. I think I'm happy where I am. In terms of deck build. Got the full 19 blue cards, plus some other cards. This is where they're going to absolutely brown me with a Leyline. Half my deck is gone. 2 Vengevines, 2 Hollow Ones, a Squee and a Force and a Trap. Okay. But I've got Force of Will. I've got Force of Negation. Again, no Leyline. So this is interesting. I don't know if this sideboarding is how people sideboard. And I'm just going to pass. I've got flash threats. I could draw a hollow one, but I'd rather flash in the lizards so that we don't just get turn 1 tabernacled. I didn't see any post-board creatures, but that's quite a clock, right? This is basically a Vengevine. Three of them. 1, 2, 3. Bazaar Baghdad. Let's activate this Bazaar. So Root Waller, Bazaar. Root Waller, Bazaar, and then Noxious or Squee. I guess Squee, because then I can next turn have double force Noxious up to fight a pile, and I'm a little bit weak this turn, but then next turn I'm like another piece of interaction up sort of thing. So this could come back and sting and bite us a little bit, but I think that's a perfectly fine place to be. So we've got Noxious as interaction, we've insulated against Tabernacle. And then next turn I'm going to have Force, Noxious. And Noxious isn't great, right, but it is something. It can sometimes delay a pile by a little moment. Another Underground Sea. Blue, walk. I think that's fine, right? Yeah, I think that's fine. I'd rather fight the Doomsdays. I'm still not wasting that. I'm just stapling that to their Tabernacle. If I was holding that Surgical that's in our deck, then that would have been a completely different story on turn 1. Or turn 2, but before their second turn. Dark Ritual, Doomsday. Okay, that got through. And now I get a Force of Will back. And I've still got the Noxious for interaction as well. Misty Rainforest. Okay, cool. Basking Root Water. Don't see the need to do that now, because if I do that end step and I've still got the Master of Death in my hand, then I get a bit more value out of it. I might not have the Master of Death in my hand by end step, but we can still try. Dark Ritual's fine. Doomsday is not fine. And now I can spin for a trap. Okay, no. We're just milling 2 here. Did I bring in the Cradle? Misty Rainforest, okay. So the Cradle is somewhere. Cradle top deck is what I want. Wasteland. Yeah, let's draw some cards then. Guy's Cradle. So I make 6 mana. I activate 3 lizards. That's 9, 10, 11, 12. Bink, bink, bink. Play a Cradle. Attack. Crunch. Move to blocks. Bang. No top decks for you. You have no time. What a cool card, guys. Cradle is. Ding, ding, ding. Who needs Vengevines and Hollow Ones when you can just have 6 lizards? Rah. Go mini dinos, go. Right then, cool game. No top deck. I'm sorry, dude. Right, I'll see you for round 5. Okay, final round. Playing for the 4-1 against Atlante, who's had my number recently. I want to say they've been on like bug and aggro shops and this sort of stuff. But we'll see how we do. What a bizarre. We've got outs to Avengevine on 1. Let's see what happens. Mox Pearl. Sensei's Divining Top, okay, so unlikely to be bug or aggro really. Mox Opal, so it's like a PO list, okay. And then it's my go, cool. So, obviously, as always, blue card lizard, so that's the blue card. Let's see how far along the lizard train we can get. Not very far. So we can discard Noxious, Vengevine, Master of Death, and then I'm going to pitch my Fury. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to put the clock into play. And then if I get to next turn without using my cards, I'm going to have double Squee, double Force. And that's going to be that. Pretty aggressive line to take, but I think it's fine. I'm guaranteed to have force negation on the next 2 turns. And they're dead after those 2 turns have ended. So let's see. They're going to do some topping and some spinning. So let's see what they've got. Tundra. Oh, it's Tinker. Gross. Just natural Tinkers. Natural Forces. Show me your main deck Sphinx. Which I'm cold to game 1. That's a house. 15 life on the top of the house, but we're still live. Like, they still need to kill us. Oh, I can yield here. Lavinia's fine. Narset is fine. Paradoxal outcome. Yeah, so we're losing, but Hercules, nice. Draws a card at top, plays a top. DT for Lotus, maybe? So we can start casting that PO. DT for Needle. Who knows? So we did get punished from our aggressive line, because otherwise I would have had double force up, right? So I would have had a 4-4 in play. So essentially the exact same position happened, but I have less blue cards. So they are at 2. I am going to have force and negation up next turn, presuming Lavinia blocks. Okay, so it's my turn. Lavinia's priced into blocking. I'm going to have force and negation, not that I'm particularly sure that does a lot. Fury. Okay. Go to combat. Attack you. So they've only got 2 mana. They have got a hell of a lot going on though. A lot of play still in this game. It's not a Tolarian Academy, which is pretty big for us. They go to 1, which means their Force of Wills are now dead. So if this is just like Time Walk, we're in one hell of a good spot. Now we're in less of a good spot because they've played another land. Activates top. Do we fight the time walk? I think so. I think we have to. They've only got 1 mana. They've got 4 cards for it to be exactly a Flusterstorm. Or Pyroblast, if they play it. They're paying costs, which is not good for us. Flusterstorm, sure. So that probably kills us, but, you know, I was Flusterstorming the PO next turn anyway. Getting Flusterstorm when they play PO next turn, so... And remember, I can't actually draw up to anything good. So, let's assume Vengevine gets answered. Yeah, I know. Pretty sure we're dead now. They're probably just going to assemble Vault Key. And kill us. They get a Sword to Plowshares. So I'm going to end step activate Bazaar probably, just because if my top card's a Lizard, then I win. Although there's an argument I shouldn't do that because I can just top deck Fury, and then top deck Squee or Fury, and then spin into thingy. I don't know how many cards they're drawing actually. I need to turn this off because they're going to pick up their Narset. Yogg-Masaur, okay, cool, that's fine. Yeah, sure. We took an aggressive line early, and that, I think, punished us quite aggressively, or quite a lot. So, we like this, we like this, we like the lands, we like the trap. Snap back for Sphinx. I'll trim 1 Fury. I'll trim 2 Noxious. I need to make other cuts. Pretty difficult. I'm expecting Hull Breacher on top of Lavinia, so I want some Furies in. I think Ghost Quarter can go. We'll accept that Urza's Saga is annoying. So 3 cuts. So 1 Squee, 1 red lizard, and 1 green lizard. Let's keep it Noxious. Maybe I shave all the Noxious and just keep the aggressive part. How many green cards is that? 12? There's not very many. Red count is fake because we have Squee. This is a bit all over the place, trying to keep these Furies in. But I do want them whilst also being maximum blue. Caracas bounces Lavinia, Cradle beats Tabernacle. Let's try this. So max squeeze, maximum force of vigors, wastelands, leaning on the wastelands to beat Tabernacle. It's not a 7-card Bazaar hand, which is distressing. That is a 7-card Bazaar hand, which beats a lot. So let's keep this. And play Bazaar and pass the turn, I imagine. Okay. Our chalice is gone, so we're not really digging towards much. Keeping the squeeze in hand now means we've got more blue cards to play around with if they do something real big on turn 1. And not activating also means that we can have a bit more of a thought when we're playing around with our discards. So lizard and 2 squeeze. Lizard, a squee, and a bazaar, I think. Yeah. So we are going to get a little bit done in by a Tabernacle of Pendrell Vale, but we are going to have a healthy quantity of blue cards in our hand. And held the master over the other bazaar just because I think the amount of blue cards I've got access to makes it pretty good. Like I can force pitching master, force pitching snapback, double trap. Maybe that's a bit aggressive, maybe I don't need that much, but Tundra. Top. Cool. So Caracas is still somewhere in our deck, which is good. We didn't powder that one away. Yeah. This is sort of how we draw it up, but it doesn't mean we're particularly close. A spot like this, it makes it hard for us to imagine anything other than, to think about anything other than Hull Breacher. That's a squee. I'm going to attack for 6 and then pass the turn, discarding the red squee. Because we can eat their mana later and fight on their turn. So now I think I will activate Baghdad. So I'm discarding the squee anyway. I may as well get a couple more looks. It's cool. All the squees go away. We're at 7. This is the turn that they have to Tabernacle us. Otherwise we're Tabernacle proof. Vampiric Tutor. Okay, that's going to be a Tabernacle, but I think that's fine. They're so low on cards, and we've got 3 squeeze going, that Tabernacle's not actually going to stop them from winning here. Or Tabernacle's not going to actually get them winning. I mean, it's just going to slow us down a bit. But I don't see the need for us to get in a big fight when we're so set up. Now, if I didn't have 3 squeeze on the go, I'd probably be less interested in that Tabernacle coming into play. We'll activate this. They don't flash in Hull Breacher, that's quite cool for us. So, Squee, Squee. Squee. Ah, Vengevine. Play a Wasteland. Pass the turn. We'll just discard the 2 blue squeeze now. Taking a look with top. Part of me is quite interested in nuking this Tundra actually. Oh no, maybe not the Tundra, maybe it should just be the Underground because I got the Pearl. Maybe I want to do that. Maybe I want to do that draw step. Volcanic's fine. And I feel pretty good. I don't think there's much that's going to be able to get through our wall of blue cards. May as well discard this, play Caracas. Got to discard 3 cards at end step. And that's going to be Squee, Vigor, Trap. Okay. So we're once again pretty exposed to the world. So floating a Tinker, that's quite good for them. But we've still got triple Mindbreak Trap and double Snapback if we need it. I feel like if they tinker, they're tinkering for Sphinx at this point. It's a Narset. Okay, Narset should be fine for us. This game's slipping though. What's Emerald? Sure. It all came down to that time I didn't fight the Vamp because I thought I'd be fine. And then I decided to use both my forces. That's alright. Yeah. Too fancy, too confident maybe about my spot. Mox Opal. Monastery Mentor. Not ideal. And then we're going to get Upkeep Ploughed, I imagine. Say plough us. We'll snap back the hollow one. Do I activate? I imagine so. Put back the 3 squeeze. Cast the hollow one. I can draw Furies. They're going to have to pay some mana into their Mentor and their Monk. I imagine they're going to draw a card off Sensei's Divining Top here. Not yet. So let's Vigor Opal Pearl. So attack Narset. They'll jump with a monk. And look with top. And they're going to have to pay for the mentor at some point, and then maybe we can get them off of having a mentor in play for a turn. Like they pay for mentor, I snap back the mentor. I'm going to do that now. That's really bad. Okay. So we found a Fury. Just got a Vengevine. I guess I just got a Squee. And then block. Do I want to snap back the mentor? Not really. I really need to top deck a lizard here. Yes. Yes. I will pay the one. Yes. Okay, draw step. It's a force negation. Cool. So let's just go for the kill here. So we're going to cast Fury, pitching Squee. We have effects. Gross. So they're probably just holding Force of Will with a blue card, I guess. A blue card floating. Yeah. Okay. Force of Will pitching Mystical Tutor. Force of Will pitching Mystical Tutor. So I can attack Narset, kill a monk. Got no cards, they've got a top on top, which I want to fight over when it comes down. So attack Narset, kill a monk, and then I take 5 from the top coming in. And if I don't kill a monk and I kill the Narset, then I get a clean activation plus a snapback on my hollow one to bring back 2 Vengevines. So monk down. Monk down, and now I can... Do I want to snap back now? So snap back costs a card. No. So I'm going to force a negation in the top. They're going to come in for lethal. I'm going to snap back the monk token. Am I going to snap back the monk token or just the mentor? I guess I can snap back the mentor. Oh, I didn't mean to press that button. Good God, Josh, you're so stupid. So yield. Okay. That was so bad, I didn't... Yes, I'd like to pay the 1. Okay. Draw step, something good. Serum powder. That's not good. Let's attack the Narset. They've got to keep blocking, right? There's no way you can let me unlock my Bazaar. Okay, they've let it through. That's cool. It's pretty good for the old home team here. Oh yeah, because it's just non-creature spell off the top and I lose. That makes sense. Okay, so this is another big thing to think about. Do I want to block a hollow one? Or do I want a wasteland? I think I want a blocking hollow one. Because non-creature spell from the top seems pretty easy for them to do. Just any mox, any cantrip. Yeah, that activation when I cast a snapback, when I was supposed to just cast snapback, was a real mistake. I didn't mean to click on it, but hey ho. Such is life. And this whole game is lost from me not fighting that vamp on turn 7 or whatever, turn 4. Big mistakes, but never mind. So you can replay the mentor. No attacks because they've got it rolled up next turn. So I need this activation to find double creature. There's a misstep, that's not at all double creature. So I can't survive spell. But am I supposed to just hold the Root Wallet and pray that we find spell? We find creature? Or do I discard the Root Wallet so I've got chump blocks and I can survive a turn? Because I'm drawing to exactly double creature every turn for the rest of the game at the moment, whilst also putting one creature into play, which isn't very good. So I can hold Root Waller, die to any spell, and they've had 2 looks at it. Or I can discard Root Waller, hold one of the other cards. I think I have to hold the Root Waller and pray. They didn't play a land last turn. No, I've got to play the Root Waller. I've got to play the Root Waller. I can't attack. Let's see how big they can make their boys once they've paid for them all. This was a pretty unnecessary loss. Could have fought the Vamp. Probably didn't need to fight the Ancestral. They found a Merchant Scroll. Okay. Is there a 0 mana blue instant that they can draw? Or have they just got land, brainstorm, or something like that? They reveal brainstorm, and they've got a land. So we lose. We lose from my own stupidity a number of times through that game. Pretty distressing. Never mind, sometimes you play badly and sometimes you die. That's fine. GG's, dude, that was cool. I did enjoy that game. Yeah, no, GG's. So we'll concede that here. 3 and 3 and 4. And a Tormod's Crypt. Alright, buddy, relax, you got me already. Yeah, no, I enjoyed that game. So there's our few little consolation prizes for going 3-2. Not loading because Magic Online. What do we think of the list today? I think the list is good. I think the pilot is questionable at times. I like the Furies, I like the Vigors. I'm still dubious on the Traps, but they do have a role to play in fighting your battles. We didn't play any against any Bizarre decks, so these didn't come up, but you always need them. Yeah, no. Thanks for watching. Catch you soon.